Hey guys, so I had three ideas for three different stories from three different genres in my head, not knowing which one to start with. I was so sure I was going to start off with the greatest warlock that ever lived. But Madam Regina's son is just going to have to wait. I changed my mind, not because I think this will be a better story, but I wanted to slow down and take a different turn. I've been writing a lot of mystery, thriller, horror, and fantasy, and I wanted to go into another direction. I wrote the poem, literally read through the lines, and that's what gave me the inspiration to write this love story. So here it goes. These are the days, episode 8, Chris's Fear in a Nightmare. This episode is a nightmare. You, the reader, are not sure just yet that it is. That foreshadows or flashbacks events what occurred in the past or what will possibly happen in the future. It's almost like doing a puzzle, having all the pieces close by and not knowing what the picture will be. I thought it was interesting to do the nightmare very abstract, which is a completely different turn in this story because we go a little deeper into the character's mind and heart. I wasn't sure if doing this was the right move for the story because the reason I decided to write These Are the Days was to make it light and fun. Originally, I didn't plan to go this deep. However, in order for the characters to be real, they had to be flawed. So in the beginning, Chris opens a door. The only light is from the stained glass windows going all around, just a few inches below the ceiling, scenes from the Bible. Chris finds himself in a church. Not any church, but the one he was practically raised in. His father was a reverend. The people sitting in the benches that are faceless are really people who may have been friends with his parents that gossiped, but were no one to him. They keep repeating, "Forgive him, forgive him, forgive him," talking about his sexuality. Everything you've seen before this episode of Chris has been hardworking, giving, caring, and warm. This shows a really sad part of his life that he never really wants to show. And that's why the windows in the church shatter, making it darker, because now he has no choice but to confront the reality, even if it is a nightmare. Him seeing the Jesus crying blood and him about to touch him is basically him feeling the pain of him, but from another perspective. This may be a bit controversial, but that's the point, considering the way he was brought up. And now he was rejected by his father and mother because of his sexuality. His father dunking his head into the holy water is basically him thinking that will repent him from all the sins and abomination, as they say. Him seeing his mother every moment of gasp of air, the service screaming, "Pick up the Bible and read it. Live every verse." Basically, be the son we want you to be. Him screaming, "I want to go home," is his way of fighting, saying, "I just want to be me." Going to the extreme of actually having him crucified to the cross and feeling the nails go into his wrist was to show the man that he had to go through. And the hammering, all of this represents his past that he never wanted to surface for others or even himself. Then Ryan barges into the church, shouting, "Let him go." His voice is a motivation to keep moving and going and fighting. And that's what he does when he pulls his wrists and feet out of the nails, falling to the ground and running out with Ryan by his side. When they leave the church, the scenery changes to another scenario. Chris is standing outside Ryan's house, and he has the key in his hand. The reason it's a shape of a heart, because that's his love. When he walks into the house, he sees a picture frame on the wall of Cindy, Ryan, Bailey, and Jessica. And before he could even touch it, it falls to the floor and burns. That's just to symbolize a lie. When he turns around, he sees Ryan there with bags, and he keeps saying, "Let's go to the mountains," which is Everwood, meaning happiness, because despite the tiny little obstacles they had there, most of their happiness came from Everwood. They kiss and finally reveal their love for one another, and then Ryan's kids show themselves, Bailey crying by the stairway, and Jessica angry, kicking Chris and throwing her phone at him until he's on the floor. And then he gets up, about to leave the house, knowing that this will ruin his family. And there's Cindy, holding a gun right at him, furious, pulling the trigger and shooting him in the head. Chris screams and wakes up still screaming. The strangest thing isn't the nightmare. It's that Ryan, above the bunker above, is also having a nightmare too. Stay tuned for the next episode.